sure about that?
All right, welcome back to another episode. Yes. All right, guys, this is your boys here at the Truth Media Podcast. This is your host, Q Fusion Reacts, and my co-host.
Eboni, heck was good, y'all. Welcome back.
All right, guys. So, just so you guys know, it is my birthday today. I'm getting older and older by the minute, but I definitely wanted to do a podcast episode today. If, as they say, if you're gonna get into this sphere, you can't make it a hobby. You got to make it, an actual lifestyle. So that's why I said that it would be best to spend my time, doing this podcast episode. So I couldn't help but get you guys this content. I know that there was something that I came across on the airwaves. There was a conversation that took place between Eboni Williams and I'm gonna murder this name, but Ayana Van Zant. They had a conversation about dating and relationships in the modern day. I think she was looking for advice from the doctor as far as what is her take on how Black women should be navigating through relationships and dating in the common day. And so there was a comment that was made by Mrs. Eboni K.Williams with regards to the working class men. So what I want to do is I want to take this conversation in three homes. I have a couple of videos for you guys. First things first, I want to give some context because here at the Truth Media Podcast, we don't cut and snip. We're not looking to, do, clip wars and all those other things. I want to give the full context with regards to what Eboni K.Williams was speaking about and what, sort of how she got into her comment. And then I want to get into that heated exchange between her and DJ Envy on the Breakfast Club, where she tried to clear up her comments from that interview. And then lastly, we have a special guest with one of the videos I found. We have Dr. Umar, who commented on the exchange between her and DJ Envy, I believe, where he goes into a little bit deeper and makes his comments known with regards to his disdain. So without further ado, let's jump into this live. If you guys can, for us, if you enjoy and you rock with us, you like this type of content, please don't hesitate to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We are a new channel. We are at 136 subscribers, I believe, as of today. As you know, our goal is 500. So you guys have done a great job as to helping us progress along the way, but we still need your help. Get our content out there and let our voices be shown. Aaron, anything before I start the video?
No, I'm ready.
All right, perfect. Okay, so here's the first discussion between her and Dr. In this. I'll leave it up to people of color to have these names. All right, I can't pronounce it. Dr. I.
Entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research said that women are now out-earning men in 22 of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, D.C.
You said it's kind of low?
When we talk, and I know that you've said that you cannot teach a man or tell a man how to be a man, so I will not ask you to indict men in this question. Yeah. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver?
Mm.
You? Would you date
If
a
he
bus
owns
driver?
the bus, if he owns
No.
it, if he owns the bus, yes.
No. That's a problem. That's a problem
Okay.
because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver. But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together. I could build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on the side in my prenup, but I could build with a bus driver. So I think some of the criteria that we look for in the reality of today keeps us unhappy, keeps us angry, keeps us imbalance. And then when the men show up, we want to beat them up because they're not living up to our standards and criteria. And it's not working, beloved. It's just not working.
Would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work, helping me in your spare time?
Just when
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of
Oh,
Gospel Ch-
all right, we're good on that. So if we don't have any other content from that, because I guess they didn't do an exchange, what is your what's your take on the video so far? While I set up the next one.
Jesus.
Yeah, take your time. I know that was a lot.
Well, first and foremost, um, the younger woman, she said, if so,
Yes.
there's a lot with that because I get it. I get what she's saying, right? It's implied. It's like, oh, I want to be boss. Um, and honestly, like, you want a man's balls, right? I haven't heard that one. Um, so the next part is choose you. Like, is she? She's probably
No, no.
same
And they get into
status.
that. They get into that in the Breakfast Club discussion. She's married, actually. Yes, that's
I find
correct.
that hard to believe. What's her name?
Dead. Ebony K.
No,
Williams.
seriously, what's her? Ebony K.
Yes, Ebony with the I.
She's single.
I mean, unless
She
something
doesn't
changed
seem
within
like
the last half an hour, they had a
never been
discussion on the
married.
Breakfast Club. They said she was
She's
married
single.
to a Caucasian male.
She has an ex fiance. She has an ex fiance.
Oh, okay.
Based off of Google saying. So she was engaged. So it says she was never married. All right then. So right to my point. All right. So you're how old? You're over here talking like, oh, I would date the person if he owned the bus. Well, how many bus terminal or bus owners have been knocking on your goddamn door? How many? Because if they're coming knocking and they own this shit, and you just said you date them, then how come you're not with them? All right, so it's the same old song and dance. Like, oh, I get it, I get it. People think that it's like a negative to say, like I'm okay with an average person. Like you know, my man don't got to be bringing home wheelbarrows full of dough. You know, instead they're like, oh no 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 no, I want the boss, and we get it,
Mhm.
we get it. It's okay to want. But then for you to be like to kind of like poo poo the bus driver, I think that she could have said it in a way, whereas not to marginalize said bus drivers. But again, I don't think that she cares enough to have taken the time to say that differently, therefore avoiding what she said blowing up, you know. Um, but again, I don't put too much on quote unquote black woman, you know, especially an older one thinking about a black man. Period. You know, I said it before. Look, black man, your number one enemy, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's the white man, the white man. No, it ain't. You are sleeping with the enemy. The liberal black woman is your enemy. You don't know it yet, nigga. That's why she's your biggest enemy, because you don't seem to get it. They opened up. She asked the question, and she was like, "Oh well, the statistics show that they're just not, you know, they're not getting the jobs, they're not providing, and they're not in community leadership." But we can go to the statistics and see that for when you hone in on very particular demographics, quote unquote black women go to school and get 4-year degrees at like it's a crazy high clip, and they do all that. But what do they have to show with all of that?
Mhm.
So, okay, yeah, you know, you guys, you women are going, you're getting these degrees, and but you're working like these these jobs that aren't even really like they're made up jobs, or they are literally affirmative action made up jobs. We need to employ more women. We need to employ more quote unquote blacks. Employing quote unquote black women, two birds, one stone. And plus, why have a black man around when I can have a black woman around if I'm a quote unquote white man, right? So they'll pretend like they know all this stuff, but then the second some shit hits the fan, they want to come right back and say, "Oh well, they're not there, they're not this, they're not this and then that." But last time I checked, they're the same ones that are, you know, unilaterally running the quote unquote quote unquote running the quote unquote black community for the over the past 50 goddamn years.
Yep.
So
So,
if they don't
oh,
see
go
the
ahead.
men that they're talking about, you know, wouldn't it be okay to ask them how come they aren't creating those men? Now, I wouldn't actually ask them that question because they're never going to have the answer, because they shouldn't be in that position anyway. No, the onus is on men to take back stewardship over the quote unquote community, because only a man can build a man. But I'll land that plane.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess my take on the video was what I want to do is I want to allow for her to because we didn't. I thought that video was going to have more, and this is why we do this live. I thought the video was going to have sort of an exchange between the two, where she ended up, you know, as sort of maybe expounding on why she says she would only date the bus driver if he owned the bus. We didn't get that, so what I want to do is I want to play this part um, of the Breakfast Club interview where she sort of dives in further on her comments, and then you're going to see the exchange between her and DJ Envy. But just face value, looking at that video, there's a sense of there is a sense of pretentiousness that comes along with women like this, right? Who sniff that fine air of, I guess you would say, of financial independence, and to which they then see the rest of the people, right? This rest of the opposite gender, they see them at their benchmark or only higher, right? There is a they say this a lot of times in a lot of these different spaces that a lot of the times women become their own victims of their success, right? Because as we know, the statistics show that women, on average, marry. I believe it's 50 at a certain rate. They marry 56% of the time. Sorry, the men that they choose make at most about 56% more than them. So what that tells us is that women are choosing men based upon the fact that most women don't want to be working long, incredible hours when they do settle down and have babies, right? So if we're going to be looking at it from that perspective, there has become an issue where the average man, right? Because as women are going to school, women are flooding the floodgates at college institutions. They're flooding the floodgates when it comes to what's that? Affirmative action, right? So all these different rule changes when it comes to who you can hire and things and such. So now the fact that feminism has come and it's basically liberated women and given them this economic independence, they've now taken that to say that we want to be a lot of the times independent of men, right? And so you have women like this who cannot see that the fervor of a man is not only his bank account, right? It's not only what he owns, okay? Because if you start spitting this message to men, and this is what a lot of the times the guys in that red pill space, the extreme ones, I'll say, not a lot of the ones that are based, what they'll do is they put men, and I did a video on this with regards to Sneeko sort of back doing a having, basically challenging Fresh and Fit on their views on dating and whatnot, is because men are now telling men like, hey, look, you got to be the 1%. You got to be this. You got to be this. You got to have the nice cars, have flash the this. And so what that does is it pigeonholes a lot of guys who simply are good with living in Montana, owning a ranch, milking some cows, and then just enjoying the simple everyday life. You know what I'm saying? So when you start to earmark success as being something so tied to your money and making that all about your value, you get women like this, right? Where they say you got to own the bus if you're a bus driver, right? So I love the comments that the doctor made, because she honed in on, does he love his job? Right. And this is why a lot of men are gearing away from teaching jobs that are sort of colloquial, because, and leaving them a lot of the times to women, because they understand, like, hey, look, like, I love doing what I do, but is this going to get me the woman that I desire? Right. So hopefully, if they're based and raised in a certain environment, they're able to tear away from sort of this modernistic, hedonistic society that surrounds us. But most times they're not, they're going to fall to the wayside and end up taking on careers that they inevitably hate, and grow disdain for their partners as a result. Right. So that was my takeaway from the video.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and I think it goes both ways.
Yep. No, for sure. And so it's a double-edged sword that I don't see it changing anytime soon. I feel like it's here to stay, and it can only get worse from here. Okay, so let's get into the exchange between her and the Breakfast Club. Let me know if this is coming in.
Airs every night at 6. Let's first of all start with this. Whole shit is y'all's fault.
It always is. It always is. It always
This
is.
whole shit is y'all's fault here at the Breakfast Club. Y'all, love y'all. Y'all had a Yana on. And Yana made a statement on the Breakfast Club morning show, and she said that a lot of young black ladies out here are men in skirts.
Which you agreed with.
Which I found very provocative. Did I not call you that day? And I said, oh, this is spicy. I would love to participate in this conversation. And then you do what you always do, and you went radio silent. That's cool. So then I invited her. And everybody that knows Charlamagne and is a
I see why she's single.
Charlamagne know that's the shit he pulled. It's cool. I never take it personal. So it's cool.
Yeah,
it's always
that's
love
real
for
funny.
7 years. So then I said to my team, I said, reach out to Ayanla. Let's book her. Let's bring her on the grill, because I want to have the conversation, and probably more productively, right, y'all? Black woman to black woman.
Yeah.
Let's talk to each other. And also generation to generation. Let's talk to each other.
Yeah, because she old.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jesus.
I was gonna say
You
season.
should hope to get to that age.
That's it.
Oh, no, of course.
We know what the alternative
I
is.
want to
That's
age.
right.
I want to age.
That's right.
Amen. Gracefully, beautifully. Okay, so Yana comes on, and I say, this is the
Part of
framing
the
I
problem,
say to
man.
Dr. Von Zant, to Yana. I say, sis, doctor, soror, talk to me about what you would recommend black women do in terms of our posture and positioning. When you're right, I am showing up in a posture of building, providing, and protecting my own self. I'm showing up in masculine energy, as you would call it.
Yep.
I'm conceding your point. But tell me how you would guide me to not do so, when, I'll be honest, I don't really feel like I can trust that if I don't do it, that there's going to be adequate, keyword there, adequate, provision and protection if I don't do it.
Which is how you said it.
That's exactly how I said it, right? And she said, beloved, would you date a bus driver? And then the clip goes. And then I did stare into the abyss because I wasn't really sure where we were going. But okay, because she is an elder and she's also my soror in the deference, if you know, you know, I'm going to go with you. So I honestly answered y'all in that moment. If he owned the bus. And that's what I said, Envy. But what people heard based on the comments, that I said bus drivers wasn't shit. People heard that I said that bus drivers broke, don't make no money, ain't got no benefits, and that they were beneath me. That somehow was the interpretation of me saying that I will date a bus owner. Now, let me tell you what I actually said, and this is what the whole Holding Court shit was about. Go check that out right now where you get your podcast, Holding Court with Eboni K.Williams featuring Dustin Ross. I said on Holding Court, y'all, let me tell you why ownership is it for me. It's not about salary. Y'all made it about salary. Y'all started debating 125 a year versus 160 a year versus 200 a year.
Well, you did quote stats before you went into the thing with Ayala. And you
Well,
talked about women
income,
who earn more money than men.
And I talked about black women buying more homes. We buy homes at single black women are buying 20% of the market share of new real estate on the market. I know because I just closed last summer and it was a shit show in underwriting. That's another
They're
conversation.
graduating more. They're in
We're
college.
graduating.
Highest rate of
I said it to you, Charlamagne, because Charlamagne,
Yeah.
even you guys do so much work on the Breakfast Club about what? HBCUs.
Yep.
And I was devastated when my good friend Eugene Scott sent me a post, Washington Post article that said black men are going to HBCUs 1 to 2. It's 2 to 1 for black women graduating. So these are things we got to look at because you have daughters and you have daughters and some of y'all in here got daughters. And if they're going to want to partner and marry men and black men at that, and they're going to want to build together, as you two cite your marriages as examples of, we gotta talk about how people can be equally yoked. So back to ownership, Charlamagne. I said ownership is key for me. Why? Not because I'm a bougie bitch. This is not about everybody being a Harvard surgeon. This is about this book right here, Bet on Black. You read it, Charlamagne. Y'all were at the party. Y'all know what time it is. It's hard to be free in America as a black person when you don't own anything. And I mean that with my fiber in my being, and I'm going to prove it to you. My grandfather, Kerry James Williams, had a 4th grade education in Montpelier, Louisiana. He then provided for my family with everything they needed by doing 5 things at one time. That man cut hair. He made and sold moonshine. He cut graveyards on the weekend. He also worked a salary job at a feed mill. If you know about that feed mill life, then you know. My point in this is saying this, and then he raised my mother, Gloria, who also did not complete college. She took 2 years at Texas Southern. She said, how much? 50,000. It ain't gonna be that for me. And she pieced out. And she started her own business. She drove the bus. So for all of y'all in the comments, well, my daddy drove a bus. Well, my mama drove a bus. My mother drove a bus as well, y'all. She drove a bus until she acquired a skill set. In her case, it was cosmetology. She drove the bus in the morning, the school bus. She would get off the bus. She would go to Universal Beauty School off of Beatties Ford Road in Charlotte, North Carolina. She would then get back on the bus, drive the afternoon shift. Then she would come check on me, make sure that I was doing what I needed to do. And then she would go drive for UPS. So for those of y'all talking to me like I don't know what a CDL license can do, I helped my mom study for a CDL when I was 9 years old. I promise you I know about that life. My point is this. It's about skills. It is nothing wrong with driving a bus if that is your maximum skill set. I simply want to call Black America up to the excellence that I know.
You see DJ, he like, oh, yeah, he was, oh, man. This shit got good.
Occupy. I've seen it before. Entrepreneurship is the key to me. That's not just me talking. That's Earl Graves Sr., the founder and visionary of Black Enterprise. I'm talking about Black Enterprise, Black ownership, and Black liberation. And it is important to me. It's in my DNA. It's my personal legacy. Because my mama told me, y'all.
Why she look at her like that? Oh, okay. Let's get into. I'm just gonna skip to the because she's doing the the I'm Every Woman rant right now. So I want to get to the exchange with her and DJ Envy real quickly. All right. So Beige Rage was in full effect, guys. If you guys don't know what this is, on the Breakfast Club, they have what's called a Beige Rage meter, where when DJ Envy starts to really start getting that, I'm blackity black, y'all, because I'm black, y'all, because I'm back, y'all, you start to see that meter of rage and sort of and fervor come from the notable figure. So let's take a look at what he says to Miss Eboni K. Williams.
"Quote unquote average job is what
Everyday
people would say.
working class people.
Now this is my problem, right?
Yes.
Now I do real estate and I do these seminars all across the country, right? We get thousands of people. The majority of people that own homes and investment homes are your quote unquote average workers.
Yep,
all your
right.
bus drivers, all your MTA workers. So they just don't drive buses. They have properties. I know a police officer that drives Ferraris because it's not from his police job. It's from the houses that he owns that he made off to the police job.
You sure it's not from the cocaine
I'm
he's stealing
1,000%.
in the,
No,
Oh.
Jesus Christ. I'm 1,000%. He has more properties than you, me, and Charlamagne
That's
put
a
together.
joke.
That's who he is.
That's
but,
a joke.
But they
Yeah.
take it serious. But
You see the
I know
meter?
these people that do it, and they put in hard work. So when you said, I wouldn't date a bus driver unless he owned his own bus, a lot of people felt it like, yo, that's disrespectful because just because I took a job, and a lot of people take those jobs for a couple of different reasons. One, the benefits, right? They know they can work for 20 years. After 20 years, they can retire and they still get their retirement and they still get their benefits. So after 20 years, they can. Most police officers, the same thing. They get their retirement, they can still carry their firearm, and they can still get their benefits. So I look at it as that's a great hustle. They work for 20 years. At the end of 20 years, let's say they start at 21. At 41, they done working the bus company, done being a police officer, done being MTA, and now they just making money on top of money. So it's value over values, right?
Envy, let me stop you right there.
It's not.
Do you think for 1 second, and I know you don't know me that well, but
Correct.
we've had enough conversation. I had you on Revolt Black News. You talked to me about your father, who was a leader in law. Do you think for 1 second I'm about to push back on anything you just offered in that statement?
I'm so fat.
Brendan, you're not fat. It's a shirt.
I want to give you.
Look at
I
me.
know we've given some time for this.
You can't.
What are your thoughts on the conversation so far?
Well, one, she contradicted herself from the jump when she's like, "Oh, people took it as if I was saying that bus drivers are beneath me." Well, yeah, when you say, when the question is, would you date a bus driver, and you say only if he owns the bus, then yeah, you're putting them on, you're putting them beneath you. Period.
In a pretentious
Right?
manner, for sure, too.
Exactly. So let's just like stop there. Like stand on what you said. You coming out here with all this masculine energy, with all this bravado, and hey, that's how you want to move. Hey, knock yourself out. Move that way, but go all the way. Stand 10 toes on what the fuck you said. All right. So don't try to backpedal and be like I'm every woman, but I also care about niggas too. So like, and then like what Envy's saying is 100% true.
Oh my God!
Like for instance, my aunt Liz. I mean, this is a woman, but men do it too.
Sure.
Well, actually, a lot of my family worked for New York. Like they worked for the city.
Yep.
That's why the majority of my uncles and aunts are retired. They've
Yep.
been retired. My mom's retired. And like they're living like their best life. They're doing whatever the hell they want to do when they want to do it. And my mom's traveling all the time across
I
the
was just
country.
gonna say, yeah. Didn't she just have like a cruise or something like that recently?
Yeah, she's always all over the place. So and then like the guys that my mom worked with, they're retired now. They're doing things, and some of them have and stuff like that in different business ventures. So again, just to now I understand like there's stigma surrounding like certain professions and occupations and stuff like that. But at a certain point, especially when you're trying to have like an intellectual like conversation, especially in terms of the quote unquote black community and what can be done to advance it, one would think that you would have like, the scope to say, oh well, you could be a bus driver and make smart investment. um, smart a broker. Maybe you got in on freaking Bitcoin and you made a crap ton of money. Maybe you got in on the GameStop boom and you made a crap ton of money. So again, just to try to pigeonhole people, especially black men in that regard. You know what? Look, she's shown her true colors. You know, quite frankly, I don't need to hear anything on this chick because I already understand where she's at. But the
Sure.
thing is, and this is why we're doing the videos because it's not just limited to her. There are many quote unquote black women out there that this and this and this and this. Doesn't matter what the fuck you got. That's what they fail to understand. They fail to understand because ain't no man out there. I've never heard a man ever in my entire life ever say, "Oh man, I'm not getting with a chick unless she got a fucking 4-year degree plus a master's." I've never heard a nigga say that, and I don't even just mean a nigga. I mean like a man in general. I've never heard it, and you know what? I will never ever hear it because men don't care. We don't care. We don't. What about one of my best friends? I'm not gonna say his name. His wife doesn't actually. Two of my best friends, actually, both their wives don't work. I mean, like they work like, oh, I work every Saturday morning and night. at such and such, so that way
Yeah,
you feel like you have your independence and you have your money and stuff like that.
correct.
And again, are my friends, are these guys freaking like bringing in, $200,000 a year? No, no, they're not. But yet, as a stay-at-home wife, all very different, all come from different backgrounds. All right, we bridge average, but you know what? All three are very in the relationship that they have. While this wench is single as F, over here trying to sell that crappy ass book. Bet on Black. What the hell is Black? Explain that. I'm done.
No, thank you. That was, definitely very well said. I think that for me, it's as far as this conversation that's going on, I don't really enjoy the mental gymnastics that a lot of modern day women try to put people through. Right? They utilize a sense of moralistic high ground with another sense of trying to proclaim and hold on to their femininity. Right? And so they package it into a we in a lot of spaces they call it womanese. And so you sit there and you're like, oh, she really does care about men. She really does, when in all actuality, she's, when it comes to her own dating life, she literally excludes a benchmark of men based upon their socioeconomic status. Now, to her point, she mentions it's not just about salary; it's about the attitude, it's about the ownership stake, right? Being able to have the freedom, right, to be able to do what one wishes without feeling tethered to some sense of
No.
obligation.
No. She said cap. Skill cap.
Well, no, she said for her it's about ownership. But then she went down the line about like, okay, I get it. If your skill cap is here, right, where you can only be a bus driver, right, then I'm not knocking you. I think that was the comment she made in the conversation. But so my thing is
Because
people,
the
I
comment
think
she
a
made.
lot of the
The
time,
thing is,
they say, they say this thing like, I know, I'll give first for an example. They say men will settle down with a girl that works from Target. If they're making 100 grand plus, they'll settle down with a girl from Target who's making 30 grand a year. A 20-year-old that's making like we've got to. I like to give more realistic, right? In real life, in reality, people marry within their brackets, their social brackets. So if you're making one tax bracket is 190, sorry, one I believe it's 89,000 to 190. So that means in all actuality, those individuals are more likely to settle down, date, marry, and have children with each other. Okay, so my thing is that we need to, again, we can't keep looking at success from this microcosm view, this microscopic view of, if you what you have, right? It's the haves and the haves nots. That is such a, I feel like that is such a and there's that I feel like, but in my soul, it seems to me that there is such a small view on what it means to actually live a fruitful, deserving, well informed, and like, virtuous type of life. Now, is that to say that you should just be broke, living on the streets? Because a lot of people will use the extremes. It's like, oh, well, what are you saying, that men should never don't strive for excellence? Men don't strive to be the best? No, what I am saying is that if you're a bus driver, be the best damn bus driver you can be. That means when people come, because you can gain value from when people come on that bus, they say, hey, there's Mike. That this guy is always known for being on time, being a model citizen. He takes care of those that are that are having issues. He makes sure that the handicapped are being brought on well. He, like, his the way he talks to the people that are on the bus are
hold
with
on. Get
modicum
to the point.
and things of that
What are
nature.
you saying? What are you saying?
No, what I'm saying is that there's a epidemic that exists right now where women and men are simply are putting too much value add in how much money you make in society, right? And what that comes along with. Except instead of taking a look at what that individual brings to the table from an integrity perspective, from a potential father perspective, because that's where my values lean more so on, right?
Yeah,
It's how much are you going to be able to bring to the table as far as being, a suitable and dutiful man of value. That's something that I look at as more important.
yeah, you are a man. So one day, if the Most High blesses you to have a daughter, you're gonna take those same values, and then you're gonna project it onto whoever possible suitor, right? But again, so I agree with what you're saying. But the thing is, and if we're gonna have this discussion, we gotta have it like all the way through. Women like, aren't going to get that. They're not going to think about it like that. It's just not. It's never going to happen. Women are going to do what they do. They're going to say, "He makes this much money. I want him." Women are opportunists. They're
Yes,
opportunists,
they are opportunity. I agree with that.
and they're delusional opportunists. So they're opportunists to a fault. That therefore they don't understand that the opportunity is so small. No matter how small it is, they're like Kobe in the fourth quarter. They're shooting the shot, and they'll hold out. They'll hold out against their best interest. They will hold out because
Yes,
again, they're not looking for the things that you're looking for. Those are the things that her father will be looking for. But we don't live in a society, especially over here, modern day, quote unquote America. Uh, Women get to do what the fuck they want when they want, how they want. Back in the day, in other more quote unquote conservative countries, you still have to go down the proper channels. You don't just get to marry this woman.
yeah, absolutely.
And there's a reason for that. Because what happens when you just allow women, and I know I'm gonna get backlash for this, but what happens when you allow women to have free reign and shit like that, you see divorce rates like we see in our country
Yeah, they skyrocket.
because they're not marrying for the right reasons,
Yeah, they're
right?
horrible suitor choosers.
Exactly, because they do it all for the wrong reasons.
Yes,
So
based upon
again,
emotions.
I agree with what you're saying, but to go on that tirade about, oh, this is where we are, they're never gonna get it. They're
No,
never
it's not. It's not about whether or not they get it. I'm not looking for women to sympathize with my viewpoint on the world. What I am saying is that for men have to, because this is why a lot of men continue to choose the wrong women, right? Because their values are stuck on a sort of on a benchmark to which they'll never be able to achieve if they leave their wants and needs at the vices of what women want. They're never going to be satisfied, dude. They're never going to be satisfied, and this is why these marriages end in divorce, right? Because the benchmark that the husband thought he had to make, where it's like I'm able to provide, I pay the bills, I do all these other things, I try to give sex as much as possible, I try to I make sure I'm there for the kids. You would think, logically speaking, that hey, look, that sounds like a life of luxury right there in itself, because most people in Africa, most people in other these destitute countries are still struggling with these concepts, but it's not good enough, right? So this is where, and I
Yeah, but that's the
completely agree with
question.
everything you're saying.
That's the question, though. But I get what you're saying, and I agree. But why are we going through that? Why are you saying all that? What's the point? Because
Well, because
again,
because our because our
these women,
viewers,
these women don't care
our
about.
viewers,
They don't care about that.
well, but we don't do what we do based upon what women want.
I know, but I'm saying let's to the root of all of this because you keep talking
Well,
about
the root is
women.
feminism. I mean, we already went through that though. We've already gone through where the problem stems from, and how it devolved into the state of affairs as to which we see today.
Devolved. I don't know. I think it might be
Devolved.
evolved.
I said devolved.
No, I know, but I think it evolved.
I mean, you could call I say devolved in the sense that there's nothing. I like to think of evolved in a sense of something moving towards advancement, right? When we evolved from sleeping in the caves to sleeping in houses. Well, actually, I can't say that because some would say that that's actually been a detriment to the human species, as opposed to a value add. But I guess that's a larger conversation. But yeah, so we talked about where the state of affairs are at today. I'm simply for our viewers that are, I guess you would say, that are new. It's not because I can't expect that everybody that watches us is familiar with this message.
Yeah.
So that I have to make sure to bring to light some things that and I get it. I guess it seems like because we talk about these different dynamics on a day by day basis with regards to some of our
Yeah,
episodes.
year after year.
But you know what? I want to make sure that those that come on have an understanding as to not just where the
I get it.
problem is, but what kind of links to look out for in their dating lives.
You know what?
But I appreciate. I get where you're coming from.
Well, let me add this point. You know, this is something that I've said before, and hey, for the people that never heard us before, and this happens to be their first time checking us out, listen. To the example that my co-host just laid out, you got guy A who he's the breadwinner. He's checking off all the boxes. You know what I'm saying? New car every 4 years for the wife, giving her sex, boom, 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 boom. And you know he's like, oh, that should be good enough. And of course, no, it's not. So look, my advice is and will always be: you're not living to make your wife happy. Okay, now that's gonna sound harsh and crucial. And I'm not crucial, controversial. Let it. I don't care. It's the truth. It's the truth. You are living to you're living for God,
Right.
number one. So as long as you have Him first, everything's gonna be fine. But when you start to put these women on a pedestal and you put them where God should be, you're trying to praise them and get all this from them. Um, that is never going to end well for you, ever. So as long as you keep God first, because you know what, anything in the flesh can be gone tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I can be gone tomorrow. My wife just going to fucking like stay celibate for the rest of her life. You think so? Any of y'all or dudes out there, if you die tomorrow, you think your wife's gonna stay celibate? She's not gonna be with no one else for her goddamn life. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, those days are over.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah, those days are over.
Of course. So again, she could die tomorrow, right? And it's not going to be the end of my world. Is it going to be, unfortunate? It's going to be very emotionally taxing and sad, and all these different words and feelings, of course. But in due time, you'll get over it, and then you will continue on. But as long as if you have the Most High first, if you don't, if your woman is right here where God's supposed to be, and then something happens to her, you know what happens? You turn into a goddamn lunatic. Your whole world is shattered.
Verse 48.
You're going crazy now. So we cannot allow it to happen. God comes first, and everything else will fall in line. Period.
Perfectly said. All right, let's see how this conversation continues.
Right. So I cannot. And so what I'm telling you is what you are applying now is not the facts as they were given to me. Ayanla did not ask me, Eboni, would you date a bus driver that also had a real estate portfolio? Ayanla did not ask me. Hold on now. Eboni, would you date a bus driver that also has a litany of franchises? Because you and your wife just bought 5, right? Six crystals? Crystal burgers. Okay. She didn't ask. That was not the framing of the question, Envy. Yep. Had that been the framing of the question, I would have said, Dr. Vons, where the fuck he at? So
real quick.
All right. That's so disingenuous.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's so disingenuous.
Why the hell would she ask you that question?
That's not good faith.
Again, if you're having a conversation, if you're having a discussion, right? Again, a good faith discussion, seeking solutions to the issues that plague the quote unquote Black community, right? Again, you're supposed to be some type of intellect to some degree or another. So why does the doctor have to ask you such a pinpoint fucking question? You understood what she was asking you, and you answered. So don't come now and say, "Oh, has she asked me this? Specify? Oh, a bus driver with $1 million in the bank." You sound stupid.
Come on now.
You sound stupid. You're doing too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. And you know what? A lot of y'all women do the same shit. Not on the Breakfast Club, but just in your day-to-day life. You get caught up in some shit, and instead of just saying, "You know what? I fucked up. I'm just gonna bow out of this shit gracefully," right? With some dignity. No, y'all try to double down, and you look stupid. She looks
and then gaslight.
Absolutely stupid. If she would have asked me a bus driver with a fucking million, yeah. Listen, Envy already told you they out there, and you didn't even know they existed. So
bro, that's ridiculous.
Telling me they're not knocking on your fucking door. So they're not options for you.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
You can't even see them because they don't want to be shit as paper. Nah, she's
Hey yo.
Oh, man, you know what?
Hey yo.
But you have to come with a
listen,
resume to
Envy,
say
hold
all
on.
the properties that I own, or do you get to know that man
Hold
and see
on.
what he's
But
about?
see, that's
But
semantics.
that's-
Ooh.
But now it's
Y'all
semantics.
didn't- Here's the thing. Y'all
It's
didn't
not-
listen to the whole Ayanla interview.
Go ahead, Sean.
Ebony actually agreed with Ayanla. That's what's confusing me.
Well-
because you actually agreed with Ayanla when she talked about, you should be open to dating a bus driver. You can build with a bus driver. You actually agreed with that.
My
So
whole thing
that's what
was
confusing me.
you agreed with Ayala, then also conflated more and said a loving man, someone that loves what they do. So she agreed that, of course, I want a loving man. I want a man that's passionate. I want a man with a plan. All the other things that came after the bus driver is what Ebony agreed to.
Yeah, so I say, why let the griot put out a
Why
clip
she
that is
speaking
more
for Ebony?
salacious and out of context when you actually
That's
did
media.
agree
That's
with
media.
Ayanla?
Well, I'm not going to throw the griot
griot.
under the bus. See what I did there? But what I am going to do, is say that we know the business that we're in. So you said something, Charlamagne, on the show yesterday, where like we're entertainers, and we have to not over
Inflate our
index for
positions.
our.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to be clear. My beloved, I'm actually not an entertainer. I'm not. I'm an educator. I'm an advocate. I happen to use the form of television, radio, and podcasting to do my work. See, we can't conflate.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, that's yo. Oh my God. If gymnastic, she would be an Olympic gold medalist. Holy fuck. For whatever country, I don't even know. Because she's probably a bag of mixed nuts. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Yo, this is fucking hell, man. This is cringy as fuck.
So why did the griot and the brilliant,
Like, if you're a normal, like if you're somebody who's just like, I guess if you're, you just sort of flail within the wind, she's gonna be talking in this quick manner. You're gonna take a lot of the things she's saying and going, I get where you're going from. But like you've got to. I want people to be able to take a step back, right? Look at how she initially made the comment after she asked her about, would you date a bus driver? Such an ironclad, straightforward question, and she took it upon herself to the face is at it all. You're not an entertainer, then what was all the histrionics? If you own the bus, so then what's all that? I thought you were an educator. So then come on. And if you're an educator, so that means that you should be on the side of getting to the nuts and crannies, the nook and crannies of things. Then that means that it should be important to you for your message to be in complete context, with you giving all of your insight. Because like I told you in the beginning, I was very confused. I'm like, how come I only see the exchange? There's only her telling her, explaining why you should be wanting to date, you should date a bus driver, and there's no like back and forth. I'm like, if I'm her, I would want the back and forth in full context to be shown. If I'm not an entertainer, though, if I'm an entertainer, though, I would only leave up that clip to do what's on it now. She's literally got her book standing on the table. She's out here ranting and raving, doing some fucking gymnastics, and now she's on the Breakfast Club getting 530,000 views in 13 days. That's great publicity for your book as an entertainer.
Yeah, but the thing about it is,
sorry, go ahead.
Which I don't want to lose sight of. I want to keep this relevant as long as this conversation is going on. Is that she said what she said about bus driver, right? That's fine. But we must keep in context. Single. She looks like she's in her early.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
50. To say all this, but she is lonely as fuck. She's lonely as fuck. That's the truth of the matter. Period. I was just saying restart. Can you hear me? Yo.
Yeah, I can hear you. You were breaking up before. Oh, you just cut out. Sorry about that, guys. As you guys know, we do it live, so you guys just give us a second while my co-host rejoins the live. But yeah, guys, as we're talking, I mean, this is the takeaways that I hope we're from both sides, whether you be a man or a woman, right, is that when we're talking about, well, I'm not saying that you have to be in a relationship to give advice, you have to be married to be able to give this type of dating, but when you're looking at the dating pool, right? And you know that most people are, making not making six figures. That means that there's going to be when you ask that question, you have to, in good faith, understand that there's going to be a number of individuals that exist and live happy lives under that mean. So we have to start having conversations. Oh, I think he's joining back in. While he gets his video feed, we have to start having conversations that center around the best duty ways of success. And if we keep tearing towards this way where everybody's got to be a boss babe or everybody's got to be a boss in their own right, we're not setting people up for the success of finding somebody who's actually tiered and best suited to be their match, right? Because we're putting our values in the wrong thing. This is why America falls so bad when it comes to dating, propositioning, and courting. Okay, because people are just they're not looking at the intangibles. I mean, it fucks up from the beginning because most girls don't introduce guys to their fathers before they have serious conversations about taking them on. That's like set in stone. I mean, because if they did, most of these fuck dudes wouldn't even be able to whip their meat on these girls' foreheads to a degree a lot of the times. But now that we have my co-host back in, sorry, you were saying something, but you cut out.
I was saying that we got to keep in perspective that this woman said, no to the bus driver, but yes to the bus owner. But at the end of the
Yes,
day, she's single as fuck. She's never been married.
correct.
No bus owner, even though she said that she'll be with that person, has come to her. Okay, so I say that to say this: who cares about what the hell she has to say? Again, we live in a time where everyone has a voice, and like back in the day, a woman couldn't just come up and just start speaking some bullshit.
Right.
So we need to get back to that. How is what you're saying substantiated?
Mm.
We need to start asking questions before people start speaking. We got to figure out who you are. So first and foremost, you're a woman, okay, and you're speaking about black men and quote unquote black issues, right? Okay, so first and foremost, um, how old are you? Let's get that squared away. Okay, are you married? So how are you? If you're not married, how are you talking about uh relationships in the quote unquote black community? Oh well, I could have been married. Woulda if woulda was a coulda, and what I'm saying, like, come on, man.
Mm-mm.
So who gives a shit about what the hell she said? That should be where we're at. So I want to get to like basically our solution, all right? Because again, this channel is about offering solutions to quote unquote uh men, especially quote unquote black men. And the solution is, y'all, if you want to be a firefighter, if you want to be a police officer, if you want to be a plumber, an electrician, or whatever the case may be, knock yourself out. Pursue that. Those careers can, actually turn into something where if you play your cards right and invest your money, you can have, one, two homes, a lake house and stuff like that. You
Yes,
can
sir.
afford to, send your kids to school. You can go on vacations. You can travel and all that stuff. You don't need a woman that has a degree. Now all of a sudden she thinks she's better than you. Now she's going to spend the next 15 to 20 years avoiding you. That's fine. That's fine. What they're doing is they're taking themselves out of the market. They're overqualified basically in their mind. In their minds,
Yep.
degree. So at the very least, I should be with a guy that has a degree. Yada, yada. No, because again, we don't give a fuck what you have a degree in or what you're doing. In an ideal world, any man will tell you he'd like to be able to work and his wife stay at home. And don't just take it from me. Go ask. You sure you're gonna get some simps out there who be like, oh no, baby, you know what I'm saying? You can definitely go out there and work too. If I'm working, you gotta work. Those be the same dumbass niggas that they get outpaced by their chick and then they're unequally yoked And then she's looking at him with disdain, like, how do I get rid of this nigga? I disrespect him to his face. I disrespect him in front of his friends. He still don't get the hint. Don't be that guy.
Well, we also know too that women, I believe there was a study done that says that most women do not want to pay significant bills if they're when they're pregnant, right? So what does that say? Is that they are boss babes, right? All these quote unquote boss babes, the lawyers, the doctors, the where have yous, they don't want to be working full time and also rearing their child at the same time. Okay, they want a man there. I think a lot of the times, and this is where I'll say to the men, right? If you're choosing a woman, you need to be very cognizant of the verbiage that she utilizes throughout the courses of your dialogues when it comes to male and female dynamics. If she's coming at you and says, "Oh yeah, I'm just at a place in my life where I want a man, but I don't necessarily need a man," this is all I'll say to you.
Run, bitch! Run!
Get out of there as fast as possible. Pay the bill because you're a man of valor, right? And leave that woman alone. Okay, unless she's got the Glock 3000, then by all means get the Glock and just make sure you strap it up. Okay, because the last thing you need to do is to embark on a journey with a woman who looks at you as simply just a either value add or value decline. Now, as my co-host mentioned perfectly, women are opportunistic lovers. Most women, if not, I would venture to more so say that all women are opportunistic lovers, um, in all degrees, right? And they have to be because of the simple biological fact that when they are carrying that egg and carrying that baby, they are the vulnerable sex. Okay, so they want to. It doesn't mean that they always do, but they want to tag their baseline to the strongest male that they can hitch their wagon to. Okay, so in essence, yes, they must be opportunistic. But my brother, you must understand that dynamic that creates leverage for you. And if you're simply looking at her as like as my co-host mentioned, as the pinnacle of your desire, I was watching the Anna Nicole Smith documentary. You're looking at the creating, making her the benchmark as to everything perfect in the world. You're going to end up like that old man, where the woman maybe loves you, yeah, but there's no burning desire. She was out there getting her cheek clapped by actors upon actors all over Hollywood, while he's sitting over there calling her 10 times a night, trying to figure out where his lover pie is. It's dealing around in the wheelchair. You don't want that dynamic, buddy. Okay, so that I think that's kind of where I sit with that. So I do appreciate that. Double AF. I think that's something that's important that our audience needs to be very cognizant of when they're walking around, looking for who to take on that thing that we call life with each other. Okay, let's see. I just want to get a little bit more of the
Talented
craziness.
team of journalists over there decide to use the bus driver clip,
We're
which is
almost at an hour.
sensational and controversial because.
Oh yes, sorry. To speak to your point, we do have a chat that did come in on Facebook. We got Jen Distalo. Let me know if I'm saying that correctly. This is she says, "Good, more hardworking good men for the rest of us." LOL. And that's a sentiment my co-host was communicating just a couple minutes ago, is that you alienate yourselves from the rest of the God-fearing individuals that exist, quote unquote, beneath you, just because your lens is only seeing your equal, quote unquote, and higher. But in all actuality, we aren't looking for the same things you're looking for, because we are different inherently.
But before we get
Yeah,
back to
go
the
ahead.
video, I just want to read something. I pulled up something. I quoted something and I want to substantiate it. Okay. So this is what it says. In 2021, a higher percentage of African American women, 33%, were enrolled in college compared to white men at 25%, white women at 31%, Hispanic men at 19, and black men at 23%. So again, when I said maybe about 30 minutes ago that quote unquote black women are in college at a crazy
Yep.
rate right now, it's true. But again, I say that to say this: what fruit does it bear? Now she will say, "Oh, they're buying up all this real estate and yada yada," but they're still single. A woman's job and role and where they get most fulfillment from is being a wife and a mother. So you can have a single home and fill it up with all the fucking wine bottles you want. You can have all the movie nights that you want,
Damn,
game nights that
son.
you want. You can have all the fucking, no strings attached sex that you want. Okay, because this bitch never been married, but
Oh,
dicks ain't run up in that. Come on, come on. So again, hey, Q Fusion, you and I know this one chick. All right, she. When I think of boss babe, I think of
oh
this chick.
no.
Uh, she's over in Paris. She's over in New York, Jersey City. She's a VP. All this stuff. Look,
I'm a
she is
PhD.
knocking on, almost, yeah, exactly, knocking on almost mid-30s. She's in the danger zone.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
danger. Yo, one of my coworkers today, a colleague actually came up to me and she was saying how what two of her friends, they got together, and the chick is like an executive. She works on like TV networks and stuff like that. And the guy was just an assistant manager at some type of restaurant, and now he's a district manager for a franchise, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
So basically, they had the wedding date planned. She's telling me, and then they said that they were gonna push it back a year. So I asked her why. She says, because of her work, she had got like promotion, so then she had to be in the city more and stuff like that. And then Beyonce didn't like it, and I said, oh, it's over. It's over. Like, first of all, he should have never. He should have been very wary of getting with a woman that was already ahead of him, unless he had a plan when he knew I'm gonna. Fellas, if your chick is making more than you, I'm not gonna say that like don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever the hell you want to do. But I'm letting you know right now, it ain't looking good for you.
It's a time clock.
Yeah, it is not looking good for you. Because then she's gonna start
24
questioning
seconds is
you.
ticking.
And who gives a shit about what you got to say? Because you're like a peon to her. You know, and I don't even really have anything with women for doing that and being that way. Because I get it. That's in their nature. So it's not to say, oh, women are bad for that. No, that's what they're going to do. Now, ultimately, it's going to hurt them at the end. Because they're not going to find what they're looking for. Because again, a lot of these men don't want them. Because all right, hey, you're an exec, but if you're overweight a little bit, you know what I'm saying, or you don't have a clear face, or you're a little too aggressive. Because again, if you're an exec, if you're a boss babe, then you come with that masculine energy. You're in the
Like
boardroom.
this. Like
Yeah,
this.
exactly, just like that. You're in the boardroom, like this and this and this and this. You got all this bravado. That ain't turning none of these dudes. They're not thinking like, you know what? After this meeting, I'm gonna get down on one knee and knock her out. No. They might be like, you know what? I would love to slap my dick on her fucking face and shut her the fuck up. And then, that might happen, and you might think you got something because you're sleeping with fucking Chad down the hall. Okay, it's okay. You think you got something? Chad fucking, goes out to invite you. What? You're shocked. You're shocked. Chad ain't marrying you. Yeah, he'll fuck you. He'll have to fun with you. He ain't marrying you. These bitches don't get that.
Yeah, no, you're breaking up a little bit. So just if your mic is, just make sure your mic's connected. If it sounds like you're like maybe disconnecting from your mic.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, you're good. No, it was good. Just you were fading away a little bit. Now you're good.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
no,
I'm not playing.
yeah, no. I'm with you. I think that's we talk about this a lot. This is it's the catch-22 that comes with being a successful woman with regards to your career and the like, right? You set yourself, as I mentioned before, your success, right? It leads to your inevitable failure to be able to land the man that you actually want. Because guess what happens? The guys that you want aren't checking for you because you are acting like the men that they already are. And then the guys that you probably should be gearing towards, you don't want because you don't see them on your level. You think that they need to own the bus. So the bus owners, if for to keep on to her thing, the bus owners don't want you for relationships. They want you maybe for sex, right? But the guys that are the bus drivers can't have you because you don't even see them as a value add to your life. Because that dynamic, as my co-host mentioned, is going to be shitty from the jump. Because if he only wants to be a bus driver for the next 25 years and not do anything more, right? Not be an MTA server or anything of that nature, that's it. That his time is on a shot clock that's most likely going to expire with either a divorce papers or you leaving him high and dry to drink to a bottomless well of despair. So it's not looking good either way. So so when my co-host made a comment earlier about, we need to be careful of who we listen to and or why people like this get a voice. I say let women like this talk, right? So that way we, as the truth media, and this is why when I was going on that rant is because I'm thinking we're gonna get 1 million views on this. And what I want is for everyone that sees this, right, who's new to this, because at the moment we're at 136 subscribers. Like when we did the Why Are You Gay video, that was the first time we really dived into that degree on that said topic. So we had 7,000 people who were saying things, but we've done other topics talking about homosexual type of dynamics.
True. Very true. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So what I want us to be able to do is lambast women like this, not because she's trying to be successful. No. There's a way you go about what you want. And we can't just keep sitting here. What you're going to do is keep sitting here telling women to be this, I'm every woman, when in all actuality, we know that is not what gets them to their desirable state of happiness. Okay, so I like the fact that we get to take on this woman, right? And we get to be able to break down her nonsense and her illogical comments and be able to showcase them for what they truly are: selfishness, vanity, okay, the need to be right, and masculine energy. Okay, so that's why I like to take on women like this, even though we already know what she's going to say most times enough.
Let's be honest. The Grill is not getting the eyeballs the Breakfast Club is getting. Revolt Black News is not getting the eyeballs the Breakfast Club is getting, or The View is getting, or The Talk used to get. Because the nature of not just black culture, of American culture, is entertainment first. So when you start doing the work of educating around where artificial intelligence is taking the culture, where you start doing the work about where criminal...
All right, we got to be careful because we just got that notice of a copyright.
Minutes of a video.
Yeah. I know. I didn't want to. I told my co-host, I didn't want us to keep stopping and all this, but I enjoyed this conversation because we were able to, to dive in, more so on, get their full point, allow them to get the context, and then move from there. I really wanted to get into the beige rage that existed between those two parties, but we got the email telling us that until the copyright content is all that stuff is no longer being streamed, streams are automatically re-enabled, all that good stuff, right? So I don't know if that means that they're not streaming our shit right now. Are you on the channel?
I'm going to now.
Okay. While my co-host is doing that, guys, like, share, comment, and subscribe. We are an hour in right now. We've dived into a number of different aspects of this conversation, from the initial interview from Eboni K.Williams and Dr. Iana, as well as the conversation that took place between Eboni K.Williams and DJ Envy on The Breakfast Club, where she tries to defend her comments about the bus driver.
Take the video down.
Take the video down? Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the thing? Stop sharing. Okay, cool. All right. So right now it wasn't playing our shit. Gosh darn. I can only imagine. What time did we get that email to? We got it at 9:52. Jesus Christ. I can only imagine how much they cut out of this. Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, even still, guys, we got a lot of this content. What we can do is we can dive in on
Oh wait, we're live. We're back up.
We're live again. We're back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was probably that. Shaking my head. I probably shouldn't have looked at that. Yeah. YouTube.
Welcome back, y'all. We know we had some YouTube issues. You know how all the copyright stuff.
Yeah.
Other
Breakfast
people
Club got us.
Hey, it is what it is.
iHeartRadio got us.
That's going to occur. Here and there, but obviously, we're trying to work out wrinkles. With that being the case, ultimately, whatever her name is, I don't, I can't even, I don't even care enough to remember her goddamn name. Whatever this chick's name is, the bitch is delusional, and hey, let her think what she wants and all that stuff. Let her hold on to that old ass, crusty ass coochie, because again, she's never been married. So at the end of the day, it's looking like she might actually just die alone. That may be harsh, but it looks like it's going to happen. So, truth hurts.
Sorry, yeah, I'm trying to look at where they stopped. It looks like all right, cool. Yeah, so it's still it like broke it up, did some funny shit with it. But that's fine. But yeah, we got basically what we needed from the video. Thank you for I guess topping off the pause. The end of that. We have to finish off the segment. What I want to do is take a look at Dr. Umar's comments. Hopefully, he's not out here copywriting people as well. It was just a 5-minute thing. Do you think we should dive into that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. Oh, did I just? I just broke it down. Ebony. Doctor. As you already know, every time we talk about Dr. Umar, we get people out the woodworks. We get the wokety wokes, the as my co-host loves to distinguish them.
That's what they are. The pro-black, blacks, the woke people.
Yeah, we get them to come out the
shit, but niggas ain't ever been to Africa.
Hey,
They
yo.
pay these niggas to go to Africa.
Hey, yo.
So,
yo. My co-host is going in. Ebony K won't answer this. Yep, that's the video. All right, cool. All righty, let's dive into the video.
Club this morning. What's her name? Erica K.Williams. What's the sister who was on there with Charlamagne and Envy today? Very well-spoken sister. What's her name? I seen her. What's the sister's name, brothers and sisters? Ebony. Ebony K.Williams. Well-spoken sister. She made some great points, but dear Ebony, that's not what you was talking, sweetheart. That's not what you was talking. You was on some talented 10th.
Oh my
God! Trying to take it back to the community this morning, sister. See, we can't talk out both sides of our mouth. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth, sister. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth. I didn't disagree with much of what you said today, but that's not what you said the other day, sister. You was talking down to working class blacks. You are a bourgeoisie. You are a bourgeoisie feminist, and I hope to God you wasn't engaged to a white man. You said you was engaged to a white man. Eric, Ebony, I better not find out your ass was swimming in the milk. If I find out your ass was swimming in the milk, I'm gonna lose a lot of respect for you, sister. Because what that tells me, if you were with a damn Neanderthal snow puppy, then you're telling me at the end of the day, you are trying to condemn black men to justify dating white. If you are an interracial dater, if you are a bunny hopper, then what you are telling me is your whole diatribe, your whole rant against black men driving the bus was a justification so you can date a white man. I hope that ain't the case. I hope that ain't. You spoke well today, my sister. You still didn't
Yeah.
deal with collective work and
He
responsibility.
said,
I still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism. I still
how
heard a
they
lot
said it, I'm sorry, the Neanderthal snow puppy? Is that what he fucking called? Yeah, my man is crazy. Yeah, my man is
of
wicked, yeah.
Eurocentric individualism. And
Oh,
I don't know where you've been getting your reports from,
I'm
sweetheart,
crying.
but we got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed. We got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed because you was doing a whole lot of pushing college. You was doing a whole lot of pushing college today, like it's some form of upward mobility. I'm sorry, Sister Ebony K.Williams. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans. It's putting us into debt to the banks, my sister Ebony K.Williams. So where is your solution for collective group economics? I didn't hear none of that. All I heard was European, Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, individualism. That's all the hell I heard this morning. I wish I was there.
Oh shit.
I wish I was there. I wish I was at the Breakfast Club today with Ebony K.Williams. I had a few comments and questions for my sister.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. No disrespect. I love my sister. I love my sister. Don't get me wrong now. And she said some good things today, but she departed from the original narrative she was pushing on our working class Africans the other day. She departed from her attack on black males with blue collar jobs. Ebony K.Williams, do you know that you got plumbers who make more money than doctors? Ebony K.Williams, do you know you got carpenters who make more money than surgeons? Ebony K.Williams, do you know you got chefs who make more money than engineers? You got plumbers who make more money than architects. I think you got to go look at your census data, my sister. You got to go look at your census data, my sister. You got to go look at your census data a little bit better, because I heard a whole lot of Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps individualism. I didn't hear a single group solution on that conversation today from Sister Ebony. I didn't hear a single group solution. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. No disrespect. I respect my sister.
Hold it there. Umar, I think he did great. Obviously, right here, addressing what we just addressed for the past hour. But he brought up something. He said, well, one, he said something that I don't agree with. He's basically like putting down the notion of put yourself up by your bootstraps, which is basically a mantra from the great Booker T. Washington. Like cast my pail here. So I don't agree with that, because I think Booker T. Washington was a beacon of hope and a guiding light for group success in his day. So I don't agree with Umar basically saying, "Oh, I hear you talking about." Nikki's referring to it as a Eurocentric, you know, line of thought as opposed to a group idea. So my question would be to you: what are your thoughts on it? Is this, or is the discussion that we've had basically centered around like women dating quote unquote average black men? Now we look for a solution. So that should that be a group solution, or does it happen on an individual basis?
No, great, great segue. No, I think it's you do have to focus on the individual, because as we can see, when left to their own vices, when this group gets into the group think, there is a huge, I guess, for lack of a better term, there's a huge devolving that happens into victimhood, right? And so the solutions that they then look for as a group sort of don't stem from a productive place by which you can then foster a foundation of productivity. So I would say that you start on an individual basis, right? You focus on he's gonna not like the whole pull yourself up by the bootstraps notion, but essentially, yes, that is the inherent mantra for not even. I mean, thank you for citing that. Where that source is from. but in just all walks of any man's life, because as we know that this starts from the man, you must overcome. Your trials and tribulations as a man define you, and how you act in the face of adversity inherently define you. That is how you're able to then bring the value by which you walk through this world. So to just poo poo on the pull yourself up by the bootstraps notion for that individual, I just think is a you're not being genuine, because then what are you then saying if this person is not supposed to focus on that, not to have that mantra in sight and in tow, then what mindset should they then have? Always look out for everybody, look out for what the group thinks. What if the group thinks that you just need to stay in a hood by which everybody's still shooting and slapping around each other, slapping old men, slapping old women, beating on freaking the unfortunate? So then you should just be listening to the herd then? I think
Yeah,
not.
well, it's funny you say that because hold on, I'm trying to fix the volume here. It's funny you say that because Dr. Umar Johnson is also the same person that said, "Oh, if you leave the hood, you're a sellout. We shouldn't leave the hood. We should repair the hood." And
Completely disagree.
I am totally against that.
Yeah.
I am polar opposite. The hood is not to be saved. I'm saying basically, you have a what's it called? A landfill, a trash dump, right? you, Societies need trash dumps. We need landfills because that's where we put the garbage. So that's basically, hoods are proverbial landfill.
Oh my God!
So if you're living in the hood and you notice like, hey, I'm surrounded by a bunch of garbage, something right here, I don't belong here. Yeah, you should get the fuck out. But if you in the hood and you don't that never crosses your mind, then you know what? You won't see a reason to go anywhere. And I know so many people. I was born in the hood. Not, we say the hood like there's one hood. Like no, there's hoods all over, right? But I was born in a hood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these niggas, a lot of these niggas are still there, not just in the same hood. I mean, on the same apartment, same project, same floor, same door. Since I was 5. How's that? But they don't. Again, it comes with that like awareness level. If you don't have that awareness to look around and say, yeah, I'm surrounded by some fucking filthy ass, you know, less than comely people. I should do something about this. Then you're stayed there. So the hood is not to be saved. You know, you need them. That's what white people call the trailer. White people call trailers trailer trash. Ooh, ooh. You ain't gonna believe that time. And they'll say that straight up, just like that. But when it comes to black, oh no, hey, yeah, we wouldn't live in the hood still.
Yo, real quick, make sure your I'm sorry to cut you off. Make sure your thing is plugged in. It seems like feels like you're disconnected.
I'm disconnected.
There you go. You're better now.
Yeah, so basically, am I too loud or what?
No, you're good now. Before it just seemed like your mic was maybe pulling out.
Okay, how about now? Am I still too loud?
No, it wasn't about being too loud. It did sound like you were fading away. Now
Okay.
you're fine.
So yeah, basically, anyways, to sum it all up, Umar's like, oh, stay in the hood, and no, don't stay in the hood. You know what I'm saying? The hood is not to be stayed in. Get the fuck out the hood. It's not a bad thing to leave the hood. If you're thinking about leaving the hood and you saw a Umar video and you're like, oh, I don't want to be looked at like a time or a sellout. Well, first of all, you got more problems than that. If you think, first of all, who gives a shit what low level, no thinking niggas think?
Oof.
Oh! Yeah, it's true though. It's true.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to beat the hell out of a dead horse. I think this was a great video.
Yeah, no, this is perfect.
And I like the Umar, little special guest appearance at the end.
Yeah, we thank you, Dr. Umar. I appreciate you for your comments.
Let me ask you a question, Q Fusion. Now this is off the topic, But did you hear about Jerry Springer's illegitimate kids?
Ooh, no, I did not.
We're gonna have to do a video on that.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
Was he dipping in the chocolate milk?
Yes, he has. He has 2 kids by a quote unquote black woman.
Oh.
And he didn't bring it up until right before he died. Basically.
No. Oh shit. Well, we got to. Did Dr. Umar do something on this?
No, but it's just Umar. He's talking about Neanderthals and stuff, and it got me thinking about it.
Okay. Shit. Yeah. No. That. So stay tuned, guys. That will be our next episode. I think you capped off this conversation very well, and I think we can call it. We're at an hour, about 25 minutes, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. This was definitely an insightful video. I think that I definitely wanted to again make sure we got all the context from Miss Ebony K.Williams, as well as that conversation that took place on the Breakfast Club. I'm sorry we weren't able to dive fully into that conversation so that way you could see the beige rage in full effect. But I think you guys got the idea that that definitely turned into a contentious conversation, to say the least. And I think that we were able to provide some great insight for you guys to be able to take away with. Now, if you have questions, comments, concerns, or if you just strictly you just vehemently disagree with our points, please don't hesitate to leave your hate in the comments below. We love to see it. We've done videos on your comments, guys. So do know that if you guys put up some bullshit or you put up some shit that excites us, we're going to read those damn comments and we're going to talk about them live. All right. So just make sure your punctuation is on point. All right. And you're not just making up words and using word salad like some of y'all like to do. All right. So this is Q Fusion and my co-host at The Truth are out. All right, cool. Whew. Yeah, they did us dirty, man, with that shit. I had to go through and.
She's 39.
Shadow on the truck. Let's get it. I'm a rock star type nigga, fucks bad bitches. See me in the drop cause I stay